The dining room fell silent as Favor's future in-laws stared down at their plates. Something moved. Something wriggled. Mrs. Adebayo screamed and jumped back from the table, her chair crashing to the floor. Worms! There are worms in this food! Favor's heart stopped. Her hands shook as she looked at the plates she had served with such care and hope. White, fat worms crawled through the jollof rice, twisting and turning like they were dancing. Her mouth went dry. This was supposed to be the most important day of her life, the day Kelvin's family came to meet hers, to discuss their marriage. Now it was turning into her worst nightmare. But how did this happen? Let me take you back to where it all started. 3 months earlier, Favor sat on her bedroom floor, staring at the small diamond ring on her finger. Kelvin had proposed last week, and she still couldn't believe it. After 5 years of dating, they were finally going to get married. She was 25 years old, and for the first time in a long time, she felt truly happy. Favor, get down here now. Her stepmother's voice cut through her joy like a sharp knife. Favor's smile disappeared. She quickly got up and ran downstairs. Her stepmother, Mama Tunde, stood in the kitchen with her hands on her wide hips. Her face was twisted in anger, like always. Why is this kitchen still dirty? Did I not tell you to clean it before you went to your room? I did clean it, Ma, Favor said quietly, looking at the spotless floor and counters. Are you calling me a liar? Mama Tunde moved closer, her finger pointing at Favor's face. You think because some foolish boy wants to marry you, you can now disobey me in my own house? Favor bit her lip. She had learned long ago that talking back only made things worse. Her father had married Mama Tunde 6 years ago, after Favor's mother died from a terrible sickness. At first, Mama Tunde acted nice. She smiled a lot and bought Favor small gifts. But the moment the wedding ended, everything changed. The gifts stopped. The smiles disappeared. Instead, Favor became like a housemaid in her own father's house. She cooked, cleaned, washed clothes, and took care of Mama Tunde's 2 children, Tunde and Bola. No matter how hard she worked, it was never enough. I'm sorry, Ma, Favor whispered. Sorry, Mama Tunde laughed. But it wasn't a happy laugh. It was the kind that made Favor's skin feel cold. You will be very sorry when I'm done with you. Now go and wash all the toilets in this house. And if I see one single stain, you will sleep outside tonight. As Favor walked away, she heard Mama Tunde talking to herself. Married? To that Kelvin boy? Over my dead body? Does she think she can just leave this house and be happy while I do all the chores? Never. The weeks that followed were even harder than before. Mama Tunde gave Favor more and more work to do. She woke her up at 4 a.m. to start cooking. She made her wash clothes by hand, even though they had a washing machine. She sent her to the market in the hot afternoon sun to buy things they didn't even need. Favor's body ached all the time. Her hands became rough and dry. Her beautiful smooth skin started looking tired and old. But she didn't complain. She just walked and walked, counting down the days until her introduction ceremony, the traditional meeting where Kelvin's family would come to ask for her hand in marriage. Only 2 more months, she told herself every night. Just 2 more months, and I'll be free. Kelvin noticed the change in her. One Saturday evening, as they sat in a quiet restaurant, he held her hand and looked into her eyes with worry. Favor, what's wrong? You look so tired these days. And you've lost weight. Are you eating well? Favor wanted to tell him everything. She wanted to cry on his shoulder and tell him how Mama Tunde treated her like trash in her own father's house. But she was ashamed. What would he think? What would his family think if they knew she was treated like a slave? I'm fine, Kelvin. Just busy with work, she lied, forcing a smile. But Kelvin wasn't stupid. Is it your stepmother? Is she giving you problems? Favor's eyes filled with tears. She quickly looked away. Please, let's not talk about this now. Let's just plan our introduction ceremony. That's what matters. Kelvin squeezed her hand tighter. Favor, listen to me. In a few weeks, you'll be my wife. You won't have to live in that house anymore. Just hold on a little longer, okay? I promise everything will be better. Those words gave Favor strength. She held on to them like a rope pulling her out of dark water. 1 month before the introduction, Favor went to tell her father about the ceremony. She found him in his study, reading his newspaper like he did every Sunday morning. Daddy, she called softly from the door. Yes, Favor. Come in. Her father, Mr. Johnson, was a quiet man. After Favor's mother died, it was like part of him died too. He became like a ghost in his own house there, but not really there. He let Mama Tunde control everything. He never asked Favor how she was. He never noticed the way his new wife treated his only daughter. Daddy, I came to tell you something important. Kelvin's family wants to come for my introduction in 4 weeks. Her father looked up from his newspaper. For a moment, something flickered in his eyes, maybe sadness, maybe regret. So soon? You're still so young. I'm 25, Daddy. Mama was 23 when she married you. He was quiet for a long time. Then he nodded slowly. Okay, tell me what date, and I'll inform your stepmother. We'll prepare for them. Just then, Mama Tunde walked into the room. She must have been listening from outside because her face was already angry. Introduction? Who is doing introduction in this house? She demanded. Favor's young man wants to come and see us, Mr. Johnson said calmly. And who will cook for these visitors? Who will clean the house? Who will serve them? Me? Mama Tunde pointed at her chest, dramatically. I have my own children to take care of. I don't have time to be cooking for people who are coming to take someone else's daughter. She's my daughter too, Mr. Johnson said, his voice getting stronger. And we will receive her suitors properly, like we should. Mama Tunde's eyes became small and dangerous. She looked at Favor with pure hate. Fine, but she will do all the work herself. Every single thing. I won't lift one finger to help her. Favor nodded quickly. That's okay, Ma. I'll do everything myself. As she left the study, she heard Mama Tunde talking to her father in a low, angry voice. You see how she's trying to abandon us after everything we've done for her? Some people have no gratitude. The next 3 weeks were like living in hell. Mama Tunde made Favor's life even more difficult. She accidentally broke Favor's favorite plates. She poured salt in the soup. Favor was cooking, then blamed her for making bad food. She told her own children to make messes everywhere, so Favor would have more to clean. But Favor endured it all. She kept thinking about Kelvin, about the life they would build together, about finally escaping this prison. 2 weeks before the introduction, Favor went to visit Kelvin's mother to discuss the ceremony. Mrs. Adebayo was a kind woman with a warm smile. She hugged Favor tight when she arrived. My dear daughter-in-law, come and sit down. We have so much to plan. They sat in Mrs. Adebayo's beautiful living room, drinking cold zobo and talking about the introduction. Mrs. Adebayo wanted to bring 20 family members. She wanted to make it a big celebration. We must do this properly, Mrs. Adebayo said, her eyes shining with joy. You are going to be part of our family now. We want your family to know how much we value you. Favor's heart warmed. This was the kind of mother love she had been missing for 6 years. Thank you, Ma, Favor said softly. You don't know how much this means to me. Mrs. Adebayo touched Favor's cheek gently. I can see you've been going through something, my dear. But don't worry. Soon, you'll be in a place where you are loved and cherished. That's what you deserve. Favor left that house feeling lighter than air. Just 2 more weeks, and her new life would begin. 1 week before the introduction, strange things started happening. Favor woke up one morning to find her introduction dress torn to pieces. Someone had cut it with scissors, leaving it in shreds on her bed. She cried for hours. That dress had cost her 3 months' salary. Who could have done this? Her father asked when she showed him. Favor looked at Mama Tunde, who was standing in the doorway with a small smile on her face. But she said nothing. What could she say? She had no proof. Kelvin bought her a new dress the next day. Don't worry, he told her. Nothing can stop us now. But Favor couldn't shake the feeling that something bad was coming. 3 days before the introduction, Favor and her two close friends, Chioma and Ngozi, sat down to plan the menu. They wrote down everything they would need: rice, chicken, vegetables, spices, drinks, and everything else. Don't worry, Favor, Chioma said, squeezing her hand. We will help you cook everything. That wicked woman won't lift a finger, but you have us. Thank you, Favor said, tears of gratitude in her eyes. I don't know what I would do without you both. The night before the introduction, Favor, Chioma, and Ngozi came to the house around 8 p.m. They started preparing everything: washing the rice, cutting the vegetables, cleaning the chicken, and getting all the ingredients ready. They worked late into the night, laughing and talking, trying to keep Favor's spirits up. Mama Tunde came into the kitchen once, looked at them with disgust, and walked away without saying a word. The three friends could feel her evil eyes on them, but they ignored her and continued working. By midnight, everything was prepared and ready for cooking the next morning. They covered everything carefully and stored it properly in the kitchen. Then, they all went to sleep. Chioma and Ngozi stayed over, so they could wake up early to help with the cooking. The morning of the introduction arrived. Favor's alarm went off at 4:30 a.m. She woke up Chioma and Ngozi, and the three friends went straight to the kitchen. They started cooking immediately: the jollof rice, the chicken stew, the fried rice. Everything had to be perfect. By 10 a.m., all the food was ready. It looked beautiful. The jollof rice was perfectly cooked, bright red and fragrant. The chicken was golden brown and tender. Everything smelled delicious. This food is perfect, Ngozi said, tasting a small spoonful of rice. Kelvin's family will be so impressed. They covered all the pots carefully and left them on the kitchen counter to stay warm. The introduction was scheduled for 2 p.m., so they had 4 hours to get ready. Come on, let's go and take our bath and get dressed, Favor said to her friends. We need to look beautiful too. The three friends left the kitchen, locking the door behind them. Favor kept the key in her handbag and took it upstairs with her to her room. What Favor didn't know was that Mama Tunde had been watching them all morning from her bedroom window. She had been waiting for this exact moment when the food would be ready and the kitchen would be empty. While Favor and her friends were upstairs taking their baths and getting dressed, Mama Tunde crept down the stairs quietly. She had a spare key to the kitchen, a key that Mr. Johnson didn't even know existed, a key she had made secretly months ago, just in case she ever needed it. Her hand shook slightly as she unlocked the kitchen door and slipped inside. She moved quickly to the pots of food sitting on the counter. From her wrapper, she pulled out a small plastic bag. Inside the bag were dozens of fat, white worms, the kind that lived in spoiled grain. She had collected them the day before from a bag of old rice she found in the back of the storage room. She had kept them alive, waiting for this moment. With a wicked smile on her face, Mama Tunde opened the pot of jollof rice. The steam rose up, and the delicious smell filled her nose. For a brief moment, something flickered in her eyes, maybe guilt, maybe regret. But then she thought about Favor leaving, Favor getting married, Favor being happy, and that small flicker of conscience died. She poured the worms into the rice and stirred them in carefully, making sure they were mixed throughout, but hidden under the top layer. The heat from the rice made the worms move even more, burrowing deeper into the food. She did the same with the fried rice and even added a few to the chicken stew. When she was done, she carefully covered the pots again, making sure everything looked exactly as the girls had left it. Then she slipped out of the kitchen, locked the door again, and hurried back upstairs to her room. Nobody saw her. Nobody heard her. Nobody knew what she had done. Upstairs, Favor was putting on her beautiful new dress, her heart full of hope and excitement. She had no idea that downstairs, in those pots of food she had cooked with such love and care, something evil was waiting to destroy her future. At 1:30 p.m., Favor came downstairs looking absolutely beautiful. Her dress fit her perfectly. Her makeup was flawless. Chioma and Ngozi looked beautiful too in their matching outfits. They were going to serve as Favor's sisters during the introduction ceremony. You look like a queen, Chioma said, hugging her carefully so as not to mess up her makeup. Favor smiled, but her stomach was full of nervous butterflies. I hope everything goes well. I hope they like the food. They will love it, Ngozi assured her. We cooked that food with our own hands this morning. It was perfect. Nothing can go wrong now. But she was wrong. Something had already gone wrong. Very, very wrong. Kelvin's family arrived at exactly 2 p.m., just like they planned. Mrs. Adebayo wore a beautiful purple lace outfit. She brought 19 other family members, all dressed in their finest clothes. They came with gifts, drinks, fruits, money, and a small bag of rice as tradition required. The living room looked perfect. Favor had cleaned it until every surface shined. She had put fresh flowers in vases. She had arranged the chairs in a proper way so everyone could sit comfortably. Chioma, Blessing, and Ngozi wore matching Ankara dresses in blue and gold, proud to be part of Favor's special day. They helped serve drinks and made sure the guests were comfortable. See how beautiful everything looks, Chioma whispered excitedly to Favor. Your husband's family will be so impressed. I'm so happy for you, Blessing added, squeezing Favor's hand. This is like a dream come true. Ngozi, who was arranging napkins on the side table, smiled warmly. After all these years of Mama Tunde's wickedness, you're finally getting your happy ending. God is good. Favor's father wore his best suit. Even Tunde and Bola were dressed nicely. Only Mama Tunde looked unhappy, sitting in the corner with her arms folded across her chest. The traditional introduction ceremony began. The oldest man in Kelvin's family stood up and spoke in the proper traditional way. We have come to your house today with good intentions. We have seen a beautiful flower in your garden, and we would like to pluck this flower and plant it in our own garden. We promise to water it, care for it, and make sure it blooms forever. Everyone clapped. It was beautiful. Favor's eyes filled with happy tears. Her three friends clapped the loudest, beaming with pride and joy for their friend. Her father stood up and responded, We have heard your requests. We can see that you are good people from a good home. We will not stand in the way of our daughter's happiness. More clapping, more smiles. Everything was going perfectly. Then, it was time to eat. This was the moment Favor had been preparing for. She wanted to show Kelvin's family that she was a good cook, that she would take care of their son well. Please, let me serve the food, Favor said, standing up with a bright smile. We'll help you, Chioma offered, standing up, but Favor shook her head with a gentle smile. No, let me do this myself. I want to serve my in-laws personally. It's more respectful that way. Okay, but we'll bring out the drinks at least, Blessing insisted. She went to the kitchen and opened the pots. The food still looked good. The jollof rice was still bright red and aromatic. The chicken was golden brown and tender. She didn't notice anything strange. How could she? The worms were mixed in, so carefully, so cleverly hidden under the rice. Favor served everyone with pride. She gave each person a generous portion of rice and chicken. She poured their drinks. She made sure everyone was comfortable. Chioma, Blessing, and Ngozi moved around the room with trays of drinks, offering zobo, chapman, and malt to the guests. They exchanged happy glances with each other, so proud to be part of this important day. Thank you, my dear, Mrs. Adebayo said sweetly. This rice smells wonderful. Favor beamed with pride. Thank you, ma. Please enjoy. Everyone picked up their spoons and started to eat. Favor stood near the door, watching with happiness, waiting to hear them compliment her cooking. Her three friends stood beside her, equally excited to hear the praise. Then Mrs. Adebayo screamed. The sound was so sudden, so loud, that everyone froze. Mrs. Adebayo jumped up from her chair so fast that it fell backward with a loud bang. Worms! She shrieked, pointing at her plate with a shaking finger. There are worms in this food. Time seemed to stop. Everyone looked down at their plates. And that's when they saw it. Fat white worms, crawling through the jollof rice, coming up to the surface, like they were trying to escape. More screams filled the room. People pushed their plates away in horror. Some people ran to the bathroom. The beautiful ceremony turned into chaos in seconds. Chioma gasped and dropped the tray she was holding. Glasses crashed to the floor. Blessing covered her mouth with both hands, her eyes wide with shock. Ngozi ran to Favor's side immediately. Favor, what? How did this happen? Ngozi whispered urgently. Favor felt like the ground was opening up to swallow her. Her legs became weak. Her hands started shaking so badly she had to hold onto the wall to keep from falling. No, 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 she whispered. This can't be happening. I cooked this food myself. I tasted it. There were no worms, but nobody was listening to her. Kelvin's uncle stood up, his face red with anger. What kind of disrespect is this? You invite us to your house and serve us worms. Is this how you people do things in this family? I don't know how this happened, Favor's father stammered, looking shocked and confused. I'm so sorry. Please, let me. Sorry? Sorry? Mrs. Adebayo's voice cut through the room like a knife. She was breathing hard, her hands on her chest. We came here with respect, with good intentions, and you serve us worms? What kind of wicked people are you? Favor ran forward, tears streaming down her face. Please, Ma. Please listen to me. I don't know how this happened. I cooked this food this morning with my friends. I locked the kitchen. There were no worms. Please believe me. It's true, Chioma shouted desperately. We were here since yesterday. Favor cooked this food this morning. We helped her with the cooking. There were no worms. Please, Ma. Don't go. Blessing begged Mrs. Adebayo. Something is wrong here. Someone must have done something to the food. But Mrs. Adebayo turned her back on Favor. Stay away from me. Stay away from my son. No son of mine will marry into a family that feeds people insects like they are chickens. Mama, please wait. Kelvin tried to speak, but his mother grabbed his arm. We are leaving. Now. All of you, let's go. This introduction is over. And just like that, Kelvin's entire family stood up and started walking toward the door. Some of them were still trying to wipe their mouths with handkerchiefs. Some were making sounds of disgust. All of them looked at Favor like she was something dirty, something disgusting. Please. Chioma ran after them, blocking the doorway. You have to listen. Favor is a good girl. Someone sabotaged this food. But Kelvin's uncle pushed past her gently but firmly. Move aside, young lady. We've seen enough. Favor fell to her knees in the middle of the living room. Please don't go. Please give me a chance to explain. Please. But they were already gone. The sound of their cars starting up outside filled the terrible silence they left behind. Immediately, all three friends rushed to Favor's side. Chioma knelt beside her, wrapping her arms around her friend. Blessing sat on her other side, crying along with her. Ngozi stood protectively behind them, her hands on Favor's shoulders. We know you didn't do this, Chioma said fiercely, through her own tears. We know someone sabotaged your food. Who could be so wicked? Blessing sobbed. Who could do this to you on your special day? Favor knelt there on the floor, crying so hard, her whole body shook. Her perfect day had turned into a nightmare. Her future with Kelvin was destroyed. Everything she had hoped for was gone. That's when she heard it. A soft sound coming from the corner of the room. She looked up through her tears and saw Mama Tunde. Her stepmother was trying to hide it, but Favor could see it clearly. Mama Tunde was smiling. Ngozi saw it too. She jumped to her feet, pointing an accusing finger at Mama Tunde. You're smiling. You did this. You wicked woman. You destroyed Favor's introduction. What are you talking about? Mama Tunde said, her smile disappearing quickly. I've been sitting here the whole time. How dare you accuse me? Liar! Chioma shouted, standing up as well. You've always hated Favor. We all know it. You put worms in that food, Blessing added, her voice shaking with anger and pain. You sabotaged your own stepdaughter's introduction. Favor's father looked from the girls to Mama Tunde, confusion and dawning suspicion on his face. Mama Tunde, what are they saying? Did you do something to the food? Mama Tunde stood up, her face a mask of false innocence. How can you believe these foolish girls over me? I am your wife. I would never do such a thing. Then why were you smiling? Ngozi demanded. We all saw you smiling when Favor was crying on the floor. The room fell into tense silence as everyone waited to see what would happen next. Drop a comment below telling us what you think Favor should do next. Should she forgive her stepmother? Should she fight for her relationship with Kelvin? We want to hear from you. See you in part 2. God bless you.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on more amazing stories.